Hi, my name is Sammy and I'm a 5'1" emotional projector, and today I'm going to talk about how important it is for people who are, do not have the emotional authority defined and that have emotional authority. So it's about 50-50. So about 50% of the population is going to have their solar plexus defined, giving them the emotional authority, and 50% of the population is not. And I find this incredibly fascinating when we really break down how beautiful it is when we can work together in this fashion of both parties kind of bringing their own best selves to the table. So I will start with being the emotional authority, and I will talk about what that is like for me, and I'm sure many of you can relate, and you are welcome to comment below if you would like to add anything as well. I am not always together all the time. When I do these videos, I try and do them sometimes when I am feeling low and when I am feeling high, because I think it's important for people to see that the emotional waves are really truly real and raw, and I feel so much all the time, and it's so easy for people with emotional authority, I believe, to kind of want to numb out when they're going through these big difficult emotions or decisions, because they do feel the deepest, most in-depth good and bad of any situation, of any decision making. It's not easy going through life feeling like no matter what decision you make, you're not going to be 100% sure about it. And there are times when the emotional wave just hits you like that, and you have this big feeling. And I love that phrase of big feeling. I have big feelings all the time, and to many people, it can seem irrational, or even to myself, I can think later on, why did I react the way that I did, or that wasn't me. But it's not something that anyone should ever feel guilty for, or to deprive your emotions or suppress them because you're afraid of what could come out, because those emotions could be so big. For a long time in my life, I really did bury my emotions. I've mentioned in a few of my videos that I had an eating disorder, and I was basically starved so much that my emotions were no longer a part of me. And even throughout the journey of human design, I've had to learn to retrust my emotions, retrust that I'm safe on this earth, and that I can trust how I feel rather than what my mind thinks. And it's so easy for all of us, regardless of what authority we have, to go straight to the mind, to try and rationalize what we're thinking, when most of the time, it has its purpose. The mind has its purpose. But most of the time, it's going to be the emotions that are going to be the truth over time. And that in itself is a hard thing to understand as well, because, my emotions in this moment about a decision are not the truth. But over a period of a few days, then I start to see truth in it. Over a period of a few months, I start to really see truth in it. And there's no denying that truth, whether or not I want to deny it or not. For example, if a job is not right for me, I can't deny that. And the more time that passes, that shows me that that is not true emotionally, I start having physical manifestations of panic attacks, of just stress, of not sleeping, of me not feeling like myself, until finally I break. And so I'm using that as an example to show you that suppressing and pushing down those emotions are only going to amplify them in the long run. But like I said, regardless of as stable as a human being can be, you're still going to have big emotions. So if you are around someone, now we're going to go to the opposite side, someone who has an open solar plexus, whether that be they're a pure authority or a sacral authority, same difference, whether they are a self-projected projector, whether they are splenic, whatever, you get all of that. Regardless, they are able to really feel all emotions. So it's not that they don't have emotions, it's that emotions almost go through them. And while they're going through them, they are often, if not always, amplified. Imagine feeling someone's rage, like really out of control rage, coming from the defined solar plexus, and being around that with an open solar plexus, and how you can feel that and amplify that, and the intensity must just be unimaginable. It's not just like you empathize with them. It's like you feel it and then you amplify it. So that is a beautiful gift when it is coming from a place of a calm manner, from someone who is passionate or in love, or, someone who is shining bright with joy and they can feel that joy. But it's not so easy when it's anger or frustration or sadness or guilt or fear or, I don't know, all the emotions that we could possibly have that would make someone else who could amplify it uncomfortable. And so this is what I always say, and this is something that I have been talking about a lot lately in my own personal life, in my readings, and it's just gotten brought up a lot to the point where I felt like I was called to make this video. Us people who are emotionally defined need to be able to control our emotions to some degree. I'm not saying that you are not allowed to have a big feeling, but if you are having a big feeling around people who you don't know or you do know are undefined, or even if they are defined, you need to allow yourself to calm down in a place away from other people. You do not have the right, just because you are emotionally defined, to take out whatever frustration or big feeling you're having on other people. Because one, it does not do anything. It freaks you out even more. And if there's someone around you with an open solar plexus, they are going to amplify that feeling, pushing you into a bigger feeling, and again and again and again, and it rises and rises and rises. But if you allow yourself to settle down, to calm down, to allow it to slow out through the body, ground, do what you need to do to settle down. It doesn't mean that the feeling has to go away completely, but you're in a position where you're now able to speak about it. Then as someone with an open solar plexus, if you are there for that person, once they are in a calmer state, then it's your chance to hold space for them, to remember that it is not your emotion to hold, because you can empathize and legitimately feel that emotion. I know it can be hard to not entangle yourself with it, to not feel, moved by whatever emotion that is. But when you're capable of protecting yourself and your aura and realizing that it's not yours, but rather your gift to be able to feel it and let it pass through you, then you are able to sit there and allow them to just speak freely about what's going on without it having to blow out of proportion or without emotions getting tangled up in each other. I love the phrase that people with emotionally, with open solar plexuses, God, I cannot talk, who do not have their solar plexus defined, that do not have the emotional authority. I love that they are able to take an emotion, but then let it go free. Let it be free through them. It's like this flowing wave. It goes in and it goes out. It doesn't mean those emotions aren't real for them in the moment, but they have to also be able to discern what is theirs and what isn't. Because when they are able to do that, they are able to hold space in a way that is so utterly beautiful, so vulnerable, so authentic, because they're truly, I literally have goosebumps, because they're truly seeing and feeling what the other person is feeling. And that is a gift. So I suppose the video here is to just say this. If you are defined, if you are emotionally, and your solar plexus is defined, you have emotional authority, like I do, you have to learn to balance your own emotions. You have to know when I'm freaking out and I don't need to take this out on other people. And when I am, and when I realize I am, I need to stop. I need to go away, and I need to come back when I'm in a better state. And I also need to tell them, that wasn't coming from them or anything that they did. And if you are not, you don't have the emotional authority. God, I don't know why this is so hard for me right now to define these terms. But if you have an open solar plexus, you have to learn to calm yourself when you do feel someone really in a big feeling, and realize that it's not your big feeling. You do not have to deal with it. It's not yours to take in. It's not yours to keep. It's not yours to amplify. And you don't have to amplify anything you do not want to. So if we work together in that way, then we are able to send people who are emotionally defined, we are able to send them all the beauty of emotion, all the joy, all the love, and then the people who have it open, solar plexus open, can literally feel that passion, that love in ways that we can't even imagine, because they can feel it from every single type of person that could ever have the feeling of joy or passion or love or courage or just any emotion that just brightens you up. And that is something that they want to amplify, and that exuberates the room. So there is good and bad to both of these, just as life has always had good and bad. But remember from the bottom of your heart that no matter what you have in your chart, it's about working together and creating a more beautiful world by extending our love and our gifts outward into the world, not for selfish reasons, but just for being, just for creativity, just for being ourselves. And that is how we build a more sustainable, authentic, community-based, emotional world. that is both filled with love and filled with compassion. All right. That's it. I don't really have anything else to say. So I love you all so much. Yeah, and comment below if you have stuff to add. I'm sure there's a lot that people would like to say about this. So I love hearing all of your kind words and add-ons, and just thanks again for watching. And I just feel so humbled to be able to share this stuff with you all. So I love you. Bye.